Today we're going to talk about mental fasting. We said we're going to do that. And I call it Breatharian Programming. And I put that on it because we're always under some type of program. Always. As long as you're living in this realm, because that's how the brain operates. It needs some type of stimuli to go off of so that it can create you a reality that you want to experience. So it's a program, just like a computer. And you're going from one program to another constantly. However, we want to put a program in when we're dealing with the Breatharian programming, a programming that's going to give us a better life. Everybody want to be happy, you want joy, peace, you want to be healthy, you want wealth, you want to have certain things in your life where you know what I mean, good friendships, good relationships. That's a program. The last program taught us, or most people, well, you're always going to have pain and trouble and stuff. That's another program. Or you just can't have everything you want and need, you know, stuff like that. But since we're learning about energy work now, you creating your reality, and it's about you balancing out these energies, these things can come to pass. But the foundation, again, we just had to figure out what was the foundation. The foundation is in us, not external outside of us. So when we deal with the Breatharian sciences, see, this isn't a belief system, this is a science we're working with. This is something tangible on techniques and a system where we can see results take place. It can be measured. This is why it's a science. And what is the science? If we were to give it a name, it's holistic technology. Oh, look who's here. This is holistic technology. That's something, ain't it? We might as well use the technology word, because the same energy that charges us up, charges up the cell phone. This is a technology we're dealing with. And if we're dealing with health, we're dealing about the balancing and the harmonizing the energies within our life, and that's what health is all about. And our bodies automatically do an energetic balancing act called homeostasis. It works with energy. That's what it does by its nature. So this technology we're working with, and you're actually what? Have access to it, of working with this, and this is the greatest science and technology you have access to. If you're not happy inside, no matter what nobody do for your life, what you get, who you get with, it's not going to happen. It starts here, and then everything else comes to you. Now, we just did some Qigongs today. We did some what? We just did the microcosmic orbit meditation. What else did we do?
Yoga.
Oh, we did some yoga today. We've been having a good day, working with all these energies. And notice the key words was our bodies was detoxifying itself by letting the energy run. It was rejuvenating itself and regenerating itself. Some people taking naps right now because the body needs to be healed, and then others is feeling the energy. Right, I'm feeling good. And each day you keep working with the light, you will get energetically stronger. Now the thing about this is, let's get into this programming that we under. Where does the program begin at? Uh-oh.
Born, even before.
She said, well, we were born or even before. Right, even before, because you're born with a program already in you. Uh-oh. We got information from our ancestors and everything else, but that's a whole nother lesson. What we want to do right now is transform the program that we're under right now on how we've been looking at energy, how we've been looking at food, how we've been looking at health. We want to at least change that program, something that's concrete, that's going to go into another program where we're looking at things totally different. Now, it's easier than said than done, because this old program needs time to get out of us, and this new program needs time to be downloaded. There's a time period. That's why this is called a process. It's not no instant overnight. People who've been teaching instant overnight in the past, we're out of it. We're over that now. That does not make sense for what we're talking about right now. We're going to work down to earth to the average human being and work with these things. Because keep in mind that the programs we got now and how we live in our life, it didn't come instantly. It was taught to us. You got educated. You got educated on how to eat, how to dress, how to sleep, who to pick for a relationship, all of this stuff. So we got reprogramming ourselves. Some things we can keep if it's serving us, but if it ain't serving us, we got to get rid of it. So now, there's some key words I want you to read for me. Now, I keep saying that living on prana or dealing with the breatharian sciences, meditation is the foundation. And there's a reason why meditation is the foundation. Because not only we was working with this energy flow, and it's cleaning the energy channels of our body and our mind, we have to be clear that our physical body is our consciousness. It's not separate. It's part of the unified consciousness. It is the unified consciousness. But due to the fall, we're still looking at ourselves separate from it. And meditation is the key to what? Purge you back to the source. Purge you back to oneness. That's why yoga means union with. Regulare means union with, what religion is made out of. Its purpose should be to get you back to the source. So in clearing this old programming that's all stuck in us, we need meditation to purge it out through energy. Because the program ain't nothing but an energy. Thoughts are energy. Now there's a word in spirituality called ego. We always use that word. They used to say kill the ego. But how you going to kill the ego? How you going to kill something you don't know what it is? But the ego, why kill it? Right. So what's going on? Let's figure out what it is first. Ego is a person. Uh-oh. And what is a person? A person is a program. You are a program. You're a biocomputer, remember? You're a bio machine. You'll go from program to program to program as you've been developing and growing throughout life. Learning new things. We're always learning. And the programs we got now that we try to defeat, well, this is a breatharian retreat, so I'm teaching you food freedom, but you need the program. When that program first hit the average person under the last program, it shocks them. Of course it does. But when you stay up under the program and get educated on what it is and the system on how to make it happen, you can download the program and it becomes simple. Oh, that's all I got to do? Yeah. Download the program through Vishinantam, the Hebrew word, which means what? Continually. Sticking with it. So, this program, read the program so we can know what a program is, to be very clear. So we all can be on the same track, nice and loud. You see can you read my chicken scratch? So listen at this. Ego is a person. Everybody's egotistical. I know some people say, I'm not egotistical. You are, that's your nature. Because you're a program. A fly is egotistical. A fly looks out for himself and he looks for pleasure. He looks for the best food to go eat. He don't want to be killed when you try to swat him because he cares about his life. A tree is egotistical. It's a program. It seeks pleasure. One time they built a house in front of this tree, and guess what the tree did? It blocked the sunlight. The tree actually wrapped itself around so it could get the sunlight. It's thinking about itself. It don't care about the building or what you did. It's egotistical. So its program is geared towards pleasure. That's the #1 law. Everybody and everything is seeking pleasure. Is that making
The
sense?
problem is that food is pleasure.
And our programming from before, food was pleasure.
Yeah.
The dense food. So we need a new program, and we're going to learn more about bettering our health, at least. The higher energetic foods, all the way to different sources of energy where you don't need food at all. That's a new program. But you got to receive it, how to get it, what to happen, how to download it. Now, dealing with a person again. If an ego is a person and everything is egotistical, we ain't been looking at it like this. That means a cow is a person. It's just in another form. You ain't relating it as a person. A cow is egotistical. It's looking for the best pasture. It's looking for a good life. That's us who's putting it through that other torture, eating it, tracking it down, right, taking his milk, taking his babies. That's us stopping his evolution. Other than that, it will live a good life and it have a hierarchy and everything else. Care about his baby? Absolutely. It's egotistical. So if it's egotistical, and the definition for ego is a person. And if it's a person, it's under a program. It's under the program of a cow. That's his consciousness. Uh-oh. We ain't been looking at it like that. But that's the truth. Everything's egotistical.
What is egotistical?
Well, ego is just the word they use in spirituality.
No, what is testicle?
Oh, egotistical, that's the whole one word.
מה זה?
חושב על עצמו רק, כאילו שאכפת לו רק מעצמו.
אגואיסט.
מה הפירוש של מילה טסטיקל?
לא, איקוטסטיקל זה מילה אחת.
Right, one full word.
זה אפיון עצמי.
אגואיסט.
אגואיסט, זה המשמעות.
So a program, listen at this, is a set of activities or parameters for long-term or short-term purpose for something to run under. That's just one definition.
Okay.
A program, man, I can't even read my own chicken scratch, is a set of related measures or activities with a particular long-term, what was that? Oh,
Sorry.
did I do that?
No, I did.
The Ruach.
The Ruach did that. That's that energy flying. We got too much energy in here. Knock it down the camera. It was protecting me because I couldn't read my own chicken scratch. But it's a set of parameters. It's a series of coded software instructions to control the operation of a computer or other machine. That's the definition I want. It's a series of coded software instructions. So when we were educated, as we was growing up, our first programming came from the household we was living in. That was the first programming. Then when we went to school, they gave us more programming on what life and living is. Make as much money as you can, you know, whatever. That was the new programming. Not saying it's good or bad, but these are programs. It's a set of coded instructions so the computer or a machine. We are a biocomputer, we are a biomachine, hands down. We're working with energy, we're converting it, we're taking downloads, and that's how you create your reality based on the program that you have, period. So that's why when we want to change this thought process, change this program, so now we have to get into it since we understand this is a program we're dealing with. Now, me and a friend of mine, she brought up a new word called detoxify. Instead of detoxify, she said dethoughtsify. Detoxing your thoughts. That's a genius right there. That's very good. So now, when you deal with meditation, what does that deal with? First it says relax the physical body. Then it goes into relaxing the mind, just watching the thoughts go around. Don't give it no energy. Then it goes into the intellect, the stuff we learn. Don't give it no power, just look at it. Then it brings you to the self or the source. But you got to go through all of these layers before you go to the source. But the main thing is the problem is at the mind-body connection. If a person is unhealthy right now and don't know what took place, there's a problem happening with the program. There's a virus that's taking place. There's a problem with the mind-body connection. And we want to straighten out this mind-body connection. Because keep in mind, food freedom is a holistic lifestyle. It will lead you to there just by being on that path. But there's a problem within the program. The average human being got a virus taking place and is dealing with the thought process. So we got to detoxify the last thought process and put in a new program. Now, what is a thought? Now, this is going to get real good. Where is they coming from? Where did it happen? A thought is an idea or an opinion produced by thinking, and it occurs suddenly in the mind. It's produced by our thinking. So when you go into meditation, you see all of these thoughts going around. They're coming out of nowhere. And we think about 60 to 80,000 all the time a day. But the more you relax, the more those thoughts start diminishing themselves. Now, I know some meditation practices will tell you, get rid of no thoughts at all, no thought state. There is no such thing as that. You're always going to have some thoughts. What it is, they will lower themselves to about 20,000 to 30,000. But you're just not giving them no power. You're just not going into them. You're just watching them and observing them. But this is what's happening. Your thoughts comes from your thinking. So that means, like when you say, I just had a thought. That means it was already there, the thinking. You just gave it power and snatched it out of there. I just had a thought. I got a good thought. So the thoughts are always there. It's when you pull them, that's what we call it, the thought, the thinking. And it occurs, now this is what it says. It occurs suddenly in the mind. Now we got to find out what the mind is. They occur suddenly out of the mind. Where did that come from? Now let's look at the mind. Now first let's look at the brain. Let's deal with what we can see physically first. Because your physical body is the window to the invisible. In the last spirituality, we threw away the physical body. It don't mean nothing. And everybody end up sick, teaching spirituality. So of course, the blind follow the blind, you're going to fall into the ditch. For me to live on prana, I had to come back into my body and notice it got value. This is valuable. This is the only way you're getting around this realm, or you ain't going to be here. So it just makes sense to take care of it. This is number one priority, so you can enjoy this realm. And it works with energy, which is light and sound. That's all you got to do is figure that out and learn how to work with it. Everything else is a given, and everything is free that gives you the essentials of life. The essentials of life don't cost nothing, but you got to come into this realization. So now, let's get into the brain. The brain is the physical organ of the body, but listen at this. It is an association with the mind. It's associated with it. It's the physical part, the brain, but it's associated with the mind, but it's not the brain. The mind is not the brain. This is what it's saying. The intelligence of your mind permeates the brain cells of your body. Well, it permeates your whole body or outside your body, not just the brain cells. So your brain cells is one thing, but your mind goes beyond your brain cells. It goes to all the other cells of the body. So this is why we were saying earlier, this is your consciousness. So that's why coming into your body still got past trauma in it. It remembers because your mind is holding on to it. It's holding everything, all your experiences. If you slept with somebody, if you ate something, it's holding on to the experience. It remembers it. That's the mind. It goes beyond your brain cells. The brain cells is one thing, but the mind is something else, but it's the program. So this whole program of eating is more than just in your head. The reason why a person has a hard time, they keep losing weight real fast. You can't stop it, or they'll die, is because, but I do believe food freedom, it ain't got nothing to do with you believe right here. The cells got it now because it's stuck into the mind, which is the totality of your body. It goes beyond your brain cells. It's affected every cell in your body, and they all up under the program because this is the bio machine. It works as a whole unit. Whether it's good or bad, it works as a whole unit. So now the mind again goes beyond the brain. And listen at this. This is another definition. It says your mind is part of the invisible, transient world of thought, feelings, attitudes, beliefs, and imaginations. It's invisible. So it's stuck into your aura. This electromagnetic field that's coming in off your body that science can show now has also your belief systems in it, your imagination in it, your intentions in it. So it's more than just energy coming off the body. And your heart goes out the furthest. So when you draw things to you that seems or appear negative, it's because it's in your thought process. It's in your imagination. It's coming way beyond your body. It's affecting your reality. We got to change this now if we want to live a different life. And we got to change something that appears invisible. And it is invisible. I'm trying to make sense of this. We're going further and further. So the mind is a set of cognitive faculties, including consciousness. It is the consciousness, but it's the part of it that you're using that's closer to the body compared to the unified consciousness. This is sort of like a blocker in the middle so that you can have your experience in duality. See, it's one thing, duality is not evil, but you have to realize that everything is one, even though it appears separate from you. You understand? That's the truth. But your mind, again, if it got the belief system that everything's separate and it had made it real, it is separating you from the unified consciousness. That's why you can't be sustained by it, and this is why you're having problems, and this is why you'll have bad health, and this is why soon you're going to die. It's carrying out that program. So we got to change it now. We got work to do. So it's more than just a belief system. It goes beyond that. So that's why when I go to different places, based on a person's culture, that's their experience on how they see an energy. Like I told y'all yesterday, when I was in India, there was people who said when we went in meditation, and I saw Babaji. They saw Babaji because it was part of their culture. Of course they saw it. It's coming off of their aura. It's in their mind. That's how they were educated. But when I was in America, there was people saying, I saw Jesus. I saw Mary Magdalene. That was the foundation that was created to them. You understand? No offense. But what else they going to see? Because the mind is your imagination. It holds all of those programs, and you only can see and experience what that program is. It deals with your thinking, judgment, and so forth. Now listen at this one. It is usually defined as the faculty of an entity's thoughts and consciousness. So that's why it's so easy to, no offense, to sell somebody a God. It's easy. Because once you give a person that program, and when things good happen to them, they relate it to the entity that their mind has created. But we also know we can change gods. People do it all the time once they start understanding their power. Or you can live a life where not having one at all. People doing it.
Can you repeat the last sentence?
Oh.
When you said somebody, something?
God.
In other words, it's easy, since this force is invisible, it's easy to sell somebody an outside force, since it's separated with the unified consciousness, it's easier to replace it with the entity, something else. So in other words, when a person sees ghosts, when a person sees what? The ancestors. There's no doubt in my mind you've seen that or had that experience. But it's in your programming. All people don't see that because they ain't got it in their program. So your mind, again, is the dictator of what's in this program or what you're experiencing. I was in this one country one time where a guy said there was a ghost in his horse stall. Now, when I went in there, now he knew I do energy work. Now, I seen a blockage of energy in the horse stall. All I did was straighten out the energy. But in his mind, I got rid of the ghost. But that's in his program, whoever gave him the belief system of ghosts. So, of course, you're going to see that. But when you get into the unified consciousness, there ain't no more ghosts no more. Everything is one. In other words, you ain't delusional no more. I know this is a hard message to give. There ain't no more external gods no more, not when you get into the universal force. You're one with it. This is the only way you view in the universe. But when you see him through the veil of duality, you're right and everybody else is wrong. I got the truth, nobody else has it. But that's what the illusion. We got to peel through these layers. Again, what the mind is doing. The mind could be a savior, or it could be your worst enemy, and it has been humanity's enemy. How do we know it? Just by the diseases and everything else that's taking place. Wars and everything else. Everybody's thinking through the illusion. Making it seem like it's real. Now the mind holds the power of imagination. It holds the power of imagination, and it is responsible for processing feelings, emotions, resulting in attitudes and actions. It's responsible for it. So when people talk about their emotional body, well, that's just something we made up so we can deal with that type of stuff. There is no emotional body. Your mind is responsible for that, for the actions and the feelings or how you're relating to it. It's responsible for a lot of stuff. So when you can't see something, your mind has made you blind to it. And when you can see something is revealed, your mind will show you what should be revealed to you based on what's under the program it's under. It's sort of like when we was talking yesterday about you bought this car. As soon as you buy it, you see everybody else got that car on the road. You didn't see it before. But that's the program you're under. Your mind is revealing to you on what it wants you to see. So we have to break through the veil of the mind in order to get to the source. Now we do it in meditation. When you relax the body, you just look at the thoughts, observe the thoughts, because the mind going to throw it at you. That's what it's going to do. That's what it's supposed to do. And pretty soon the thoughts will cool themselves down. You go to your intellect. That's your education. How am I going to get my vitamins? How am I going to get my minerals? How am I going to get my carbohydrates? You don't even know what none of that is. Somebody told you that. Right. That's the seeds. So you can get to the source. The source don't care about nothing about no vitamins, minerals, carbohydrates. It is what it is. It's power. You have power inside of you. That's what we want to get to, and that's what we want to unleash. So this goes with mental fasting or changing our program from one program of thought to another.
When you talk of mental fasting, you talk about not adding any more information.
And mental fasting is where you're taking a time period with yourself to observe your thoughts, not just in meditation, in your everyday, like you're doing it for a day, 3 days. And as soon as you give a negative thought power, you got to start all over again. So that 3-day fast can end up being a week.
But now when you say a negative thought, then you...
'Cause we're always
get
talking-
in duality language.
Oh, sort of like a letter just came to your house. And in the letter, they'll have, in your mind, man, it's probably a bill I didn't pay, it must be bad. You know, your mind's always talking to you. It over-highlights stuff. It makes it negative. So you want to start gaining control over the negative aspect of your thinking so it won't affect your reality no more. You can't create a reality of peace, harmony, and everything coming to you is good. This is the new program we're bringing in. You got to get rid of that last program. But you got to get rid of the what? The voice that's in us that was already given to us for the last program. Fear, survival, things don't supposed to work right, things don't go my way, all of this stuff. It got to go. We don't need it going into this. Absolutely not. So now, so this mind-body problem, we want to bring this connection back. So, this is going back into why am I saying meditation is the foundation of living on prana? Too many people been going into it just worried about the food, putting tape on their mouth, I ain't eating no more, and yes, they have not been making no transitions. They are not living on prana. Absolutely not. Because how could you if the last program never got resolved? Absolutely not. People will be handing you food out of nowhere. You're running into food because the program is letting it come before you. See, there was some guy from Germany said to me, he said, Elliot, I see like it's like a demon for some reason. As soon as I start going into food freedom, people start giving me food and I start finding food. That's what happens. I told y'all that what happened to me. Because it's coming off your body. It's an immaterial thought process that we created as part of your program. It's given to you what that program's supposed to give to you. So it's going to happen. So you're mistaking it from, is this supposed to happen? I don't know. Maybe God gave it to me. Maybe I'm supposed to. But that's just a program, and it got nothing to do with that. You have to change programming. So there will become a day you have to resist that last programming so that the new one could come in. And then your body will be crystal clear. Oh, you want to be sustained by the other forces. See, if you keep giving that program what? Energy or power by keep breaking into it, it's going to reign supreme. So there's going to become the day you're going to have to resist it so that you can make the shift or the other desire of the new program where the higher subtle forces can now maintain the organism. Does this make sense? Because right now it ain't going to do it. That's why people running into what? A bad situation, try to live off of prana. Losing too much weight, not getting healed. All of this stuff taking place. Whew. This is heavy, but it deals with meditation. Now let's look at the power of meditation so you can really understand what we're talking about.
But how can we know what is, everyone, it's personally, what is the roots program that we need to change?
You said what's the root program you need to change? Man, you need an overhaul. Now check this out. Before we get into that, first of all, I'm going to get into meditation and why we must make this transformation to get from duality to get to the source. That's what we want to do. Now let's look at light body. We keep hearing this. And notice that I say you're looking at a light body. But everybody has a light body already. But the light body we're talking about is at another frequency. We need another frequency in order to connect with the unified force. It's vibrating at a higher frequency. This is why you keep hearing things called higher consciousness. How do you start maintaining this higher consciousness? So we have to raise our vibration. Right now we're frozen light. You're considered as frozen light. So you want to unthaw this light so it can vibrate differently to pick up a new consciousness, to purge the last program of the mind. It will do the work for you. It's a given. That's why it's an allowing. So this light body is your vehicle to graduate from the human condition to return to the source. This is what our destination is here. On planet Earth, your mission should be to ascend. It should not be to go to the grave in this season. You should take on, your mission is to leave the human condition now to go back to the source. I'm shooting straight from the hip. You got the components. You're coming into this knowledge. It's spreading more than ever before as we're increasing. Things are changing. So now what is the human condition? The human condition was the experience of pain and suffering. Everybody died. You're supposed to get sick. That's the human condition. Depression, everything else that comes along with it. And nothing fulfilled you. No materialism, no money. You lost. That was an experience. Now we got to go back to the source, but you must grab your vehicle, which is the light body. You already have it, and raise the vibration of it through meditation. Is this making sense? If I'm not, stop me. Now let's look at the term crystalline body. Have you ever heard of a crystalline body? All right, same thing, but this is what it's saying. And this is stuff that you're already doing. So it's not far-fetched no more. A crystalline body is the ability to convert vibrational energy, sound, light, into electromagnetic energy. It can absorb, store, and amplify, transduce, and transcend energy. You're already doing all those things. You're transmitting energy. You're absorbing energy. See, this isn't far-fetched no more. So now all you got to do is raise the vibration of it by staying consistent, and it will take care of the human condition. This is how you learn living on prana. This is the Breatharian sciences. Everybody got to go into it. It's a health message. It's a holistic health message to lead you back into the source.
What is the source?
The source is oneness, a unity of consciousness. That's the source. You're the source. But you must come into the realization of yourself. It's a behavior that will bring you into a new life. That's the source. You ain't going to disappear and go nowhere else. Where you go? This is it. But your perception is what's holding everything down. Whoa. So a crystalline body, again, it can absorb, we do that, store energy and amplify it to traduce and transcend sound and light. We convert sound into light and light into sound, and it gets the word into electromagnetism. Right now, we all know we got an electromagnetic field in our bodies. And we're doing this constantly. But now we want to upgrade. So that's why even now, dealing with the holistic message, more and more people is leaving alone what? Meat, denser type foods, going into higher density foods. That is the pranic journey. More people was fasting, bringing fasting into their lifestyle. That's the pranic journey, because what you're doing is you are actually, willingly or not willingly, creating or utilizing your light body. That's what you're coming into. So it can hold more light. And the more light you can hold, the less food you need, or you don't need none at all. And you only need about 33% of light in order to be food free. You don't need that much. It don't end.
33% of what?
Of light being held into the body.
Okay.
We're all holding a percentage of light, dealing with frequencies and vibrations. I'll explain more to that to you later. I have to take you to the side and really,
Okay.
right, so you won't be, right, we're moving on. So ascension isn't far-fetched. We're building something. And you also have ascension symptoms. What is a symptom?
What is ascension?
Ascension is where we're going from one state of consciousness to another. One frequency or vibration to another. We're going to a higher one. We're building something. This is the house. This is the temple, remember? So now it's going to function totally differently. And you're going from different levels of ascension. Back when I used to be sick and became healthy, or a burrito, that's ascension. Right now I'm food free. I don't eat food. That's ascension. Now I don't end here. I'm supposed to take on another light body where I will not see death. It's in everybody's scriptures around the planet. It don't matter if you don't believe it or not. Death's supposed to be swallowed up in victory. That only holds true when you're on a certain vibration or frequency of life. This is where we're going. Uh-oh. I know it's a shocker again. Anytime you're hitting us with something else. One step at a time. This is where we at. This is why we're here. Uh-oh. Now we say the soul live forever. Remember we had that conversation? Well, if the soul live forever and you got a soul, but let's put it back to unity of oneness. You are the soul. It don't supposed to die. But due to duality, you think the soul is something else other than you. It ain't nothing other than you. You're oneness already with the consciousness unified frequency. You got to start facing it, realizing it, and start growing up into it. When you do that, you're going to see things start changing. But you must understand this now. Stop the duality thought. Stop the duality frequency. This is how you start raising the vibration. Now listen at this. Let's go get better. So we're going to answer your question. Now we're going to take one meditation for a minute. This is what meditation does. We're going to take the Merkabah, for instance. We're going to do the Merkabah later on during the retreat, matter of fact. And some of y'all already did it with me. Where we spin the two pyramids. And y'all felt that energy coming from it. Very powerful.
Still spinning.
Still spinning, right. Now what was taking place? The Merkabah. We'll do it later. I'll show it to you. Now this is what it does. It expands your awareness and elevates your consciousness. That's what the meditation is for. It just ain't to look cute or just to say I've done it. It's to expand your consciousness and your awareness. How did it do that? Because by you spinning the light around your body already absorbs light, it transcends it, it does all of that stuff. It deals with light and sound. You are cleaning your mind from all of that junk. It does the work for you. This is a given. But you must understand that and stay consistent working with the light. It'll do the work for us. So that's what it does. It expands your awareness and elevates your consciousness. That's essential. It helps, that's number one. Number two, it helps you experience the infinite possibilities of your being. It helps you experience the infinite possibilities of your being. There's more that we could do. Right now I'm food free. I never in my young life figured that I would ever be able to walk without eating food. I just opened up infinite possibilities through meditation. This is what I'm trying to tell everybody. Meditate. Take it seriously. Understand what it can do. I'm getting fired up just talking about it. Yeah, we're going to be levitating one day. Yeah, we ain't going to die. This is what opens up the consciousness of the unity frequency. You are it. Go ahead.
With the Merkaba meditation, when you do this imagination of the light,
Yes.
like it's really, I ask if it's image or it's real light that clean your aura or your light or what?
Oh, absolutely. Because remember how we're doing the meditations? Wherever your mind goes, the energy goes. So as you're spinning that, and your mind is taking part in it, it's real. See, a thought is the first manifestation of physical matter. It's real. Absolutely. So in other words, when we was having that last experience of dying and everything else, yeah, that was real. That took place because our mind made it real, even though it's not the truth. Uh-oh, did I say that? It's not the truth. So now, as we're coming into these meditations again, working with this light with a purpose, it's going to expand our, what does it say? It helps us to experience the infinite. So you're going in from one experience of pain, suffering, and death to another experience of your infinite possibilities. Things we thought was impossible. No, it ain't impossible. You could do anything. We live in this realm. Even science is saying it now. What they say? First they started studying physical matter. They studied the molecular structure. They went into the atomic, the subatomic. Then they went into the, what? String theory. Then they finding out, wait a minute now, there is a glue that's holding up everything together of infinite possibilities. Right. It could do anything. We're connected to it. But you're only going to get there through these meditations because you got to get past this mind of the last program that's been blocking us. You got to get past it, understand what it is, and bring on a new mind. One that supports the new experience you want to have of infinite possibilities. Oh man, did I say that? Absolutely. This is what we're working on. From myth to reality. We're going to nip it all in the bud. Now listen to number 3. The Merkaba increases the intuitive and receptive aspects of your mind. In other words, I'm gonna be clear, you're going to become smarter. Didn't I tell you I'm a genius? I ain't making that up. Don't they tell you what? Your intestines is your second brain of the body? That's what science is confirming. Your intestines is your second brain. Well, if it ain't got a lot of junk in it, and if it's food free, that means that the energy is flowing and you're smart. You gotta be smart. You're transforming from a what? A homo sapien to a homo genius. So when you're meditating, you're becoming a genius. Any situation you're in life, of course you got the answer on how to get out of it, how to take care of it, how to do things. You're hooked up with the unified consciousness. It knows all things. You're a genius. That's it. That's basically what it's going to do. So that's our end-time goal, dealing with opening up this gateway from this mind that been blocking us of the last low-frequency vibrational program that we was under, going into the new program that's going to bring on a new experience of health, wealth, happiness, peace, longevity, immortality, and we will continue because nature continues. Nature don't die like that. Uh-oh. Our body's already showing us what it could do at a low level. It's showing us it makes a new cell. It's regenerating itself all the time. It's telling us, come on, when is you going to wake up? All we got to do is wake up and put in a new program so that the body can take off and do what it's supposed to do by its true nature. It hasn't been our enemy. It is our friend. Like you said, what is ego? Ego is a person. But it ain't about killing ego. It's about redirecting it into a new program so we can have another experience and bring heaven on earth. But it starts with us. It starts with the person. Now listen at this. All it gets good.
From you it sounds so easy. Just change the program. It's like we have only one program. Come on. We have thousands of programs to change.
She made a good point. It sounds so easy.
Can
Yes.
you speak about the difficulties you had?
Oh, well, if you look at some of my last testimonies, Go ahead.
And also, if you have an idea about why we were created like this, that we have to work so hard to, or not so hard, I don't know, to change it.
Oh, that's a whole nother class. We'll get into that one. Because she said why and stuff like that. First, I'm going to answer these other ones, and I'm going to come right around. But that's a good one. Hold that thought. That's a whole nother class we're going to bring up. That's one in itself. Now he said how some of my difficulties on changing the program. Well, if you look at some of my past stories, when I told you I first came into food freedom, and the first day was easy, the second day was easy, the third day was easy, and I was already doing all these meditations and everything. Until the third day came, when you look at some of my past stuff, my sister brought some chocolates to the house. And then before I knew it, I was into the chocolates, eating the chocolate. That was that last program. So dealing with that program that was in me, I used to like avocados and Fritos. That was a program. But this is what I'm trying to say. Even though I enjoyed myself with those foods, I understood that that's the program and I loved those foods. You see what I'm saying? But I stuck with the meditation part. The meditation, the light is what's going to clean you. You ain't going to beat it with your logic alone. So as it kept cleaning me, over a period of time, I didn't like the avocados and Fritos no more. The program was over with.
You tasted it and it didn't taste good?
It didn't taste good no more.
How come? Just because the meditation.
Did you hear what I said?
No.
Yes, I'm answering your question.
There's a difference between it wasn't so tasty as before and it wasn't taste good at all. There's a difference. Because when I now...
You making things too difficult. Listen, I didn't want the avocado no more, and I never ate one again. It didn't taste good no more. You stick with the light and let the light purge you to go from one program to another. This is what we're saying. You understand? Enjoy yourself along the way. I know what you're saying, but you're overthinking things. You know, if you like something because of its taste, enjoy it. You understand? But if it don't taste no good and that vibration is not fitting you no more, I didn't pick it up no more because the vibration didn't fit me no more. The reason why I was eating it in the first place because it tastes good. I loved it.
But it's exactly like you said yesterday, that if you stop eating and drinking at all, then the minute you drink the first sip of water, you already want the first sip of juice.
Right.
And then you want the first sip of a bite. So now my question is, if you now will taste avocado, wouldn't it make you want, okay, now I tasted avocado, okay, what's the
Good
next
question. Okay, I like that question. All right, now he said, now my son brought this up one time, which was real good. He said, man, when you drive faster or you're not eating or drinking, you craving water.
You what?
You're craving water.
Ah.
And then when you get the water, you got as much water as you need. Now you're craving juice. Then when you get the juice, pretty soon you're craving food. Right. That's another cycle. But, again, you'll go through that phase. But stay with the meditation. See, this is what I'm trying to get people. The light will purge you. It'll keep working. Don't worry about it.
So you say, if I meditate every day, from now on, it will happen?
Absolutely. You're going to see some progress. I did a video called the 100-Day Process. And what I was telling people, give yourself a chance of 100 days working with a meditation. Right. 3 months. And see the power of it. Stop in and out, playing around and all this other stuff, using the excuses. I just said once a day. Whatever you do. Just 100 days. Don't overthink it.
Once a day?
Yeah. Once a day, twice a day, whatever. Just do it 100 days. So you can see how the energy works, the energy flows. Instead of in and out, because people are having what you call energetic abortions. You're creating this baby, you're building up this energy, then you let life situations take you away from it. You'd have lost all that energy, you descended again, you got to start all over again. That's what you keep doing to yourself. You got to stick with this through consistency, because the light is powerful. Listen to that step number 4. It says it balances your mind and relieves stress. Now, stress is basically, when you eat something, you just put stress on the body. That's what you did. Realize it or not. I don't care if you try to judge it as being fruit from something more dense. A form of stress just came.
It's because you were stressed in the first place.
Right.
Like you were stressed, you eat something, then you're more stressed.
Now you're more stressed. But this at a whole other level. Right. That's why I at least tell people to at least lighten up the diet from what? More denser foods going lighter and lighter. You understand?
It makes me stressed because the process it has to do to לפרק את זה,
To break.
to להקל, to adjust it. Why food make you more stressed?
Because you're a light being, and you don't need that to keep you alive. So you just put stress or tension on the body. That's the bottom line. It ain't supposed to be there.
There it is.
It don't have to be there. Now, if you want to have the experience, this is what we're talking about. Food and drink is an experience. Don't come at me talking about that's real. Right, we're talking at another level
For
now.
me,
So it's stressful.
food freedom is an experience, not food is an experience.
Right, food freedom is an experience.
Yeah, this
So-
is an experience. When I'm living here, this is life.
Right,
For you, it's the opposite.
right, it's the opposite. So this is how we're talking. I like that. She said food freedom is an experience. Not eating, that's normal. So it all depends how you're looking at it. But that's what it does. So stick with these meditations. And this, you're going to see all this fruit take place. Now listen at this. Oh man. Okay, we don't want to talk that one. That'd be too much for you. We have to cool it down.
No, tell us. No, don't do that.
Oh man. We gotta be easy.
For us, huh?
Now, we was dealing with the Qigong meditations I usually take people through. And people usually feel that energy right away, and it gives you boundless energy. You stick with just those simple Qigongs, letting the energy just work with you, it will keep growing and growing. That's working with the light. That's one of the basics and most fundamental meditations around. It will highlight any other meditation you try to do, but just by sticking with that, will do a whole lot of work. Now that's dealing with the life force cultivation, and when you deal with the Breatharian sciences and when you deal with the Breatharian teachings, all I'm doing is giving you a philosophical idea. So you can use these ideas to start putting them into your life. But then the practices, that's the real ball game. When you start developing these practices, that's when you start applying this wisdom of working with the light. And the only way you can do that is through meditation. That's when you're working with this big ball game of what we were just talking about. The light is going to be responsible for purging you. It knows us better than you know yourself. You can't duck it. That's why this one woman one time was talking about, she was filming it too. I'm going to show everybody how to live food free. Day 1, she's walking on the camera. Day 2, day 3, and then day 4, you ain't see her broadcasting. All right? I tried to warn her. It don't matter how much yoga you thought you was doing. You don't play with the light like that. It's going all through us and it's working with us at a level that we don't even understand. So all you have to do is stay diligent and consistent and let this thing work with you, because we got our information from our ancestors in us. We dealing with things we don't even understand. We got traumas put in us we thought we forgot about. And that's what's being purged when you're dealing with food freedom. The physical food part is just a little aspect of it. Oh, go ahead.
Before this time, the last attempt that you said that you stopped eating,
Yes.
what was the biggest, the longest time that you didn't eat? I mean, you're in the process for 18 years.
I usually mark it off at a year. You know, with not eating. I usually mark it off at that time.
Really?
Right,
Before this time, you
Right.
you had it before a year.
right. So you can pick it up. It's a power. See, this is a skill. So we're not saying that you got to live a life just sitting there and never eat again. We're not saying that. We're user friendly. We're just putting everything in this proper place to say that does not give you life, and you can live a whole nother existence if you do leave that alone. And that'll kill you if you stay there too long. Right, because the body wants to grow. And when you apply it means something. Like right now, you probably got small children, got a family. You don't need to be totally food free right now. You understand? You got time. You might apply it later down the road, but get this information and at least seek health. Now, all of us can make room for our health. You understand?
Yeah.
After this, I'm about to do 100 push-ups. I got some work to do. I got to get swole. I'm about to go to Nigeria after this. I have to be ready. Right, we're going to be doing some energy work. Tough down there. But anyway, you always keep that in front of you. It's a health message, a holistic health message. But when you do get to a certain level and degree, on how I'm rolling, like you asked me if I was to eat an avocado now, would I want more now? Absolutely not. I don't even want the avocado right now. You understand? You outgrew that. It's sort of like when you was a kid playing with toys. I remember one time I used to deal with those stick men when you used to fight with them all the time. Right, that was my thing, little boy. And then I started playing football with the big boys outside. But then when I went back in the house, I started playing with the men again, but I didn't want them to see me. But then over a period of time, I'm playing football with them, playing with my men. I didn't even realize when me playing with the little men was over with. One day I remembered, man, I ain't played with them in a long time. And when I went to go try to play with them, it wasn't the same no more. I went back out to go play football. So a lot of things, when you're on this path and you're staying up under the light, you're basically taking your ego. See, it's going to do the work. Its desire right now is going for the lower frequency vibration. That's how it was programmed. It's a person, it's a program. But through the light, it will start rotating to a new desire. See, I've already had the avocado experience and I have fun. Thank you for that experience. But now I'm into another experience. That experience of having an avocado is not even required. I was walking in Tel Aviv not too long ago seeing a whole cart of them. And I just laughed. Right. That's past and gone. But you grow from degree to degree where you at. Don't try to jump where somebody else is at or what you think you should be at. Just go where you at and have fun along the way. This will make it good. But this is the power of meditation again. And
can I ask another question?
What's that?
Related? It is about the food because it said that we will start consuming food that are in a higher frequencies. But then what I experience now is that for some time I did consume the higher frequencies foods, and I had so many judgments about all the rest, like it's not good milk, the meat and chocolate and all the other stuff. And now what I see is that what I'm craving for, like what I really want is the heavy chocolate and the heavy stuff, not so much and I feel that I'm in a higher level, like that there is much more light coming, and still what I want, what I'm craving for is the more dense frequencies. Yeah.
I see what you're saying. The reason why I say it's not about the foods.
And they have the judgments about it. Like it's like
Right.
I enjoy it and don't enjoy it at the same time because I feel like it's.
The reason why I say it's not about the foods is only like 10% is because a lot of things, the two key people from my last retreat is here now, and this is what they said from their experience from now and what they were just dealing with. One guy said, I'm eating out of boredom. I can see that. And the other one said, emotions, emotional eating. Now, if you can tackle that boredom and emotions, the food don't mean nothing. But by you concentrating on the food and those lower desires and not understanding what those emotions are, what's going on? See, that's why the light is cleaning other stuff. See, it could be a past trauma that you're dealing with where that void needs to be complete. That's why you need that lower vibrational food. You just don't realize it yet until it gets revealed to you. Let's take the story of Buddha.
What is it now?
Huh?
What is it?
Like pizza shop.
עוד לא לגמרי אמרנו.
You said
No,
something
I'm
about
not-
having a formal trauma, and this is the reason why.
It could be a trauma or a void that need to be filled, and you're filling it, fulfilling it with the food. the lower density vibration, instead of dealing with the trauma.
And the meditation will clean the trauma.
Yeah.
And the meditation will reveal it to you. And once you recognize what it is, then you can deal with it.
Yeah.
It will reveal it to you. That's what it'll do. Listen to that Buddha story. Now listen at the metaphor here. He's up under the Bodhi tree, meditating. Past traumas start coming up, or past things in his life. Let's don't even use the word trauma. Just his life is coming up. It's going to happen. Because your body recorded every experience. It ain't get rid of nothing. So stuff will come up, and then he sees some stuff since it's revealed, you can try to put it down if you want to, but it's like a jack in a box. When he dealt with it and resolved it, got some understanding on what that was about, that's what brought more light into the body. Ding. That's it. Enlightenment. So all of us is dealing with that. So that's why the physical food aspect, you stick with the meditation up under your own Bodhi tree. And when that trauma come up, take another look at it. See what it was about. Because everything was geared towards your development, if you realize it or not. The light knew it. You just didn't know it. So when you get that understanding, then it makes sense. And then when things start happening in your life, then you can understand what we mean by this is a classroom of life. Everybody's in your reality so that you can grow. You start using those tools, using the different aspects of yourself. That's all it is. Wow. Enlightenment. From enlightenment to enlightenment to enlightenment. And when things like that bring more light into the body, just something off of that, you be ready to go for that lower density vibrational food again? Man, I don't even need that. Because you resolved it through something else. That's what we're talking about. There's a whole nother level we're talking about right now. Right. So that's why even when we're talking about sexual cultivation and celibacy, we're not saying that, but watch where you put your energies. As soon as your body absorbed that other person's energies, you did take on some of their absorption of traumas and stuff. Don't even realize it. So that's why I talk to people who got sexual gonorrhea. There's so much confusion within the body, they don't even see it. Talking crazy.
In what kind of meditation this trauma will...
And meditation.
With the Merkava meditation, it also will be?
That's why when I tell people about meditations, start out by picking one you enjoy. Because if you enjoy it, you'll stick with it a lot longer. Absolutely. If you don't enjoy it, you're really gonna give up on it. Absolutely. But allow it to work for you. And even when we were just doing a microcosmic orbit, going to the different energy centers. Now this is something you might want to notice too. You might go to one energy center and you'll be there a lot longer. You feel the energy. Then you go to another one and you don't want to stay there that long. That right there, you don't want to stay there long because something there. It's subconscious, right? So you got to force yourself to open that up. When you open that up, again, you can start dealing with that trauma to what? Bring more health to the body. See, it all deals with energy blockages again. Right. When you deal with the preventable health crisis in America, it's more than just food. Way more than food. People are traumatized, stressed out. That's what's happening. At a low frequency vibration. Hands down. And don't even realize what's taking place. But we're in a good age. We're coming through with this knowledge and this information. And we're going to try to spread it as many as we want to who want to come into this new, what? Development to go back to the source of development. Y'all got any more questions? Yes.
In order to reprogram yourself, you need to know what you want, or it's enough to know what you don't know, what you don't need.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. He said in order to reprogram yourself, you got to know what you want or what you don't want. When you're dealing on these levels of the Breatharian sciences, one thing we got to admit, you don't know what you want. So that's why, right.
Why he knows what
No, I know only what's bothering me. I don't know what is which new program I need to
Food
replace.
free, new program.
No, but
Oh, check this out. Now I'm glad you brought that up. So you know what's bothering you, but you don't know which new program to bring in. That's what you're basically
Yes,
asking.
yes.
Now listen at this. Usually when I'm counseling somebody, they telling me their situation and their problem. I'm sitting here listening. And when I'm listening good enough, they usually tell the solution and also what they're supposed to do. They do. Now, it's up to them if they want to accept it. I'll reveal to them what they told me. And they usually sometimes, no, well, I'm not ready to do it yet. Right. But they want to go still have fun or whatever they're doing for that experience. But the answer is already in you. So therefore, this is why it's important. That's why I'm bringing up this meditation and the importance of it. Stand up under the light. From when you are ready, the answer will come plain of day and you'll carry it out. Because we don't know what we want on one level. So that's why I did a post not too long ago on social media how things fell in place for me. And a guy asked a real key question. Did you think for that to happen or did it happen automatically? Good question. It actually happened automatically. I didn't have to think about it to happen. I don't know what I want. But the universe.
No, you create before. You create the thought, I want to become a food freeder, or I want to become a breatharian. You create this thought. So it's not come automatically. Without this thought, it never happened to you.
Oh, you talk about that goal. I'm glad you brought that up. Now check this out. When I first started, that was the intention just like everybody. She just said your goal to create was food freedom.
Yeah.
So you had to think that thought. You're right. However, this is what I tell people now. Don't think about food freedom because there was a time I gave up. I said, man, this overwhelming thought of avocados is too much. I thought me and the avocados will never quit. So I'm not going to be food free no more. I'm not even going to seek it.
Yeah.
But I stuck with the meditations and the lifestyle. And then the body made that transition. So that's what I learned a lot more. Ding! Don't seek food freedom. Don't even seek what health is. You don't know what health is. Just seek the light and the lifestyle, and it will bring you into it. That's all part of the package.
So just seek for the pleasure.
Seek, because we are creatures of pleasure. Seek for the pleasure of the light.
Just meditate.
Through meditation.
In the Torah, we said, Nishma, Seven Nishma. We do and then we hear, or there are some people we hear after we do. So what you say, do it after,
Right, do it first.
do it first.
Go into it
Do it.
to bring on that new experience. Just talking about it with logic ain't going to get you there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When you start your journey the food freedom,
Yeah.
food freedom, you said that if you want, I don't know, do some lower frequency stuff like watching television, I don't know, masturbate, I don't know, whatever you want to do that is considered low frequency.
Right.
So let's consider you watch TV now. Won't it lower your frequency and take you to your last program and this will push you again to eat again? Won't this bring you back to your lower frequency of eating?
Well, all right, let's get into this. He's talking about watching the TV. Wouldn't that bring you back into your lower frequency of blah, 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 blah. And this is what I'm saying. On my journey as being a breatharian, I had a lot of fun. I've been in this 19 years. I did everything from playing video games, going to the movies, watching TV. It's an experience. Don't look at it as lower frequency or higher frequency, and it's going to bring me over.
I judge it, and then it's very difficult to go back on the road.
What's
I
that?
judge myself after I watching TV, and then because
You
it's
said
just
TV is bad.
Stop looking at it like that. Now, if you don't want to do it,
No, I want to do it, but after I do it, like after you eating, you become with the guilt feeling.
oh, with the guilt from not eating. Well, that's why you got to get into this.
Something wrong. I don't know.
Right, so we got to break those frequencies. That's in the program. A lot of people feel guilt after they eat something and all of this mess.
Yeah.
That's why you got to get, if you're going to eat it, that's why I say,
Enjoy it.
enjoy it. Watch, where's the guilt coming in at? You did it.
Because you know that it's a low frequency. You know that it's bad for you, and although you
See, here we go with that low frequency. And see, that's what makes a breatharian lifestyle bad. I see people living bad lifestyles talk about, I'm a high frequency and everybody else is low. So now they're sitting there all alone, and then they end up breaking down. If I can't beat them, you're going to join them. You don't got to do that no more. You understand? What we're just saying.
No, extend it. It's clear and not clear, you know, because
Do it consciously.
on one hand,
That's
you
the idea.
understand that few things are better than others. You understand. Okay, and then you are saying, but no, it's not really better than the others.
You never said better. You never used the word better.
What?
That's not true. You
No,
never
no,
used the
higher
word
frequency.
Right, I never used the word
No,
better.
not better. No.
higher is
Yes,
very
but
different.
higher is better. No?
No, higher is
All right, y'all making this too difficult.
higher
Now
is
listen
one
now.
taste. Lower is another taste. It's not better.
Somebody explain this.
But we want to push ourselves to higher.
If you want to, then you're gonna not want to be lower. If you want to be higher, you're never gonna want to be lower. So you're creating a yin and yang thing.
Yeah, what experience are you having? For number one, let's take food. Let's don't use the word diet. Let's use the word window of consumption.
So don't.
What is your window of consumption? Now, it's like what I told you when I was in the Navy and I took myself out to a steak dinner once a week before I went out to party. That was my life I was living. I ate a steak dinner because I wanted to with my fries before I go out and party and dance. Was that a low frequency? No, that was where I was at. Would I want to do it now? Because I'm not in that window of consumption of wanting to have that experience. Is that making sense? That's the experience I was having then. I'm having another experience now. When I went into live and raw foods, I had a live and raw food experience. That's what I was on. So y'all mixing all this other stuff. What is this? What, if that's part of your experience you have, what experience are you having? It define it. What are your barriers? What are your goals? You're either doing something or you're not. Or what experience you having? I got to hear this now. I got to hear from you.
Yeah. So
You're having some type of experience. Right.
Yeah, but if my intention is to eat little, and when I don't eat little, I feel bad.
So
right?
this is why I'm telling you now, because you're going to eat now. Exactly.
The heart.
So now what I'm trying to add in for you is the first 3 initiations. I'm telling you to meditate more in your life. Average person ain't even doing it. Don't even know what meditation is.
Okay.
This is what you're learning at this retreat, since we're talking about praying. Master that, put that in your lifestyle. Fast once a week. Right. And then everything else, let it fall in place. Get into it. Let the light purge you, and pretty soon the food will talk to itself just by its taste. You're not trying to force it. Don't beat up on yourself. Spirituality is not hard. It shouldn't be hard. It's fun. This is a fun roller coaster ride. When I went and ate that sushi that one time, I was there all week long having a good time. I didn't beat up on myself. I shouldn't be doing this. I'm breatharian. This is low frequency. This is going to make me, man, this is good. I'll be back tomorrow. Right.
So why did you stop?
Stop what? I was satisfied. See, there's a thing called satisfaction. When you're satisfied with something, why should you continue it? That's why you stop.
Because the satisfaction is over and then you want more.
When you're not satisfied, oh, well, that's another episode.
Yeah.
And then another episode, like a drug addict,
Yeah.
Yes.
trying to get that same high.
Yes.
So that's why you add in meditation.
So that-
You start working with the light. Meditation, okay, let's talk about the power of it, because y'all ain't catching this.
No, we catch it.
Meditation, if done properly, can heal any sickness, illness, and disease. I'm shooting straight from the hip. That's what it's designed to do. Y'all take this seriously and understand the power of what it can do. It connects you to your source. consistently. Right now, you're already learning what's proper. You stay consistent. Absolutely. And for properly is for the people who's listening who don't know what meditation is yet. Find a teacher and go find out what meditation is. Run in the energy flow and stay consistent with it and work with that light. That's how powerful it is.
So you're saying
You can't beat this. These other addictions y'all talk about, there is no technique for it. All you're going to do is be suppressing stuff over and over again. That's why out in the world, they'll tell you once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. They got stuff like that. When you're dealing with the pranic path, you ain't once do something, always something. You transform.
So you're saying, in answer to my question, that when you're dealing with, I don't know, watching TV or something that, in my opinion, considered lower frequency, in your opinion, it's just it?
It's just an experience. If I'm watching it, I'm doing it for a reason so I can have fun.
So it doesn't have, if it's considered, I don't know, somewhere lower frequency, it doesn't bother you, right?
No.
At all?
Mm-mm.
Because
Because I'm at the level that I could transform frequencies. See, if I could go into a space and pick up the frequency, that means things that are considered a lower frequency, and this isn't talking arrogant, when I come around, I'll pick up the frequency of it because I'm a high frequency. So when I watch a movie and you watch a movie, to me, if I'm watching a movie for number one, it's a high frequency movie to me because I'm watching it for a reason. I'm seeing certain things differently.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
Whole nother piece. See, when it rains, the rain didn't change. It's raining on everybody. But it's each individual, how they experiencing the rain. It's their perception of it.
So the frequency of a thing is what you bring to it?
It's what you bring to it. The frequency of a thing is also what you bring to it.
Okay.
Whole nother ball game. So when you ask me when I do things, and I'm telling you this, it sounds contradictory, but it's not. It's just like when I go into a place. Now there was a time there's people who eat around me sometimes. This food ain't gonna bother you, is it? The frequency I'm at now, no. Now there was a time when I was first starting out, I wouldn't want to be there. But now it don't matter. I'm not gonna do it because that's not what I want to do. I got control of me. This is me. This is my experience. I'm running this. Does this make sense? You ain't running me, I'm running this. Right, this is real.
It's not you running it, it's your mind controlling it, I think. Because you brought the issue of a movie, okay? If we both see a movie. Okay?
Right.
So, talking about movies, I mentioned it in the last retreat. Talking about movie, when you see a movie, you know that it's just a movie, it's not reality. There's
Right.
nothing there, yeah?
Right.
But you are still getting excited, you're still getting afraid, you're
Watching
still
that
getting-
movie, right.
watching that movie, although it's nothing real there, but your body actually absorbs the whatever is there, and your mind is playing with you.
It's playing with it, right.
So my mind is playing with me, and your mind is playing with you,
Right.
but differently because you are in a level that you already observe things that are, ridiculous. They're not right.
Right.
Which me might see them as right.
Exactly. And then again, see, this is what it deals with. Going back to the beginning, we were saying, we're already beings of light. We got all the components. You already got a light body, so don't be intimidated. All you're doing now is raising the frequency of it. The external frequencies, that's who they are, what it is, and whatever. Just raise this, and the perception will change on how you're dealing with it. You're giving it the power of setting it down. Absolutely. And don't beat up on yourself. That's another thing. Let the spiritual journey be fun, but what I'm trying to really soak in from last time, like he said when he went home, the meditations lasted for 2 weeks. And I did a retreat one time where I actually visited people's houses in the Canary Islands, and everybody lost the meditation. Right. It's understandable. Meditation is hard, working with the light when you come into it. I know people try to say it's easy, and then people try to impress me sometimes. I meditate for 2 hours a day. And I say, you don't got to say that. Believe me. This has to be a desire that has to be developed. Because the average human being does not have, now I'm going to say it, you don't have the desire of loving the higher light. You have the desire of the lower frequency in you.
What is that?
Why? This is what I asked before.
Mm-hmm. This is what you asked.
Yes.
The desire of the lower frequency is already in you. You don't have the desire of the higher light. So I don't expect nobody. That's why ain't nobody jumping like that. It don't work like that. It's a process for everybody. And you have to grow into learning what love is. They have to bring you into it. Till that new desire takes over. And that's when you start finding your destiny, you start finding your life purpose, and everything starts to go good. But you have to appreciate it.
So you have to follow always after your desires.
Right. And I'm just saying, add in this meditation. Don't be hard on yourself. And stay consistent with it. And let the light work with you. It's going to work with everybody differently. And let it bring you in so it can build and install within you that new quality that you need. Right now, you don't have the quality in you. All of us don't. Or didn't. That's why some of the, on the higher frequency levels, they say the human being don't have a soul. Your soul has to be built. It has to be built. It has to be created. Absolutely. Because it's not there yet. Other than that, we would have never let this happen. But for some reason in the past, this happened so we can have these denser experiences on a lower frequency. Right now, as we come back into the higher frequency, we have to understand we have to build something to build this bridge back. The frequencies is there, they never left. You just have to work through it, through these new mediums of meditation, because that at least slows down the body, slows down the mind, and allow the light to come in and start working on us. Is this making sense? So don't put yourself down. It's not your fault. Right. That's what we got to keep in mind. So ain't no use to beat up on yourself. Absolutely not. But let the light work on you, and it'll bring you there eventually. There was times like I said, I almost gave up. Right. These avocados never going to quit. Corn chips all over me. Right. Till I found.
So what helped you? What helped you?
Meditation. This is the message.
Crazy life, one answer.
Meditation is the foundation.
Meditation is the foundation. It's the medication. I might make a song about that later on.
Yeah, please do.
Meditation is the medication. All right, this is good. Any more questions? But I hope. Oh, go ahead.
You could consider the Qigong also as a meditation.
Yes, absolutely. Matter of fact, that's the bread and butter. She said, is the Qigong considered a meditation? Absolutely. That means energy exercise. You want to deal with energy meditations, to work with any type of energy you can where you can feel that flow. Chanting is good because it's more than just saying some words. It should vibrate all through your body to break up blockages.
Ooh, chanting?
Chanting. I'm just bringing that out there. Yeah.
It's the name of
You have Breatharian chanting?
Chanting.
Breatharian chanting. Oh man, now I got to make some Breatharian chanting videos.
Mantras.
Right. But this is how we're going to clean this old program. It's going to be through meditation. You try to beat the last program with logic alone, is not going to happen, because your mind also, guess what it does? It's your worst trickster. It'll talk you into some stuff and have you going to hold it. See, when you living for your five senses is designed for the lower frequency. It's the sixth sense you develop in is the one that goes to the higher frequency. That's what you build. It ain't going to talk. That's why a person that try to come with me logically, try to debate with food freedom, we ain't going to never come to a conclusion. Their five senses, that's how they're looking at things. Right. What is your minerals? What is the vitamins? What is the, that's how they're talking. We ain't going to never come to a conclusion. And I'm sitting here trying to tell them about a sixth sense. Tell them about a light. Tell them about an experience. Right. To where that don't mean a hill of beans. Man, this is heavy though, but this is where we at. So then again, we're gonna go higher and higher. What time is it now? We'll take a break.
What is actually? I mean, I'm using also this term, but when I'm thinking now, I don't understand why we are using high frequency, low frequency. I mean, frequency is wave frequency. I mean, why we use frequency to describe good and bad, or I don't know.
Well, it's us who put the good and bad on it, and I'm putting that experience out. Now, the reason why we say that to be good or bad
No,
is
what is low frequency in food? What mean? Why this is low or high?
all right, I'll explain it to you to make it plain, simple as day, plain as day. And I'm going to use myself. Back when I was overweight and my blood pressure went up and I had aches and pains in the body, I was living a lifestyle with low frequency. That's why I was like that.
Yes, but why you use the word low frequency?
Low frequency because it brought forth pain and suffering. So for us as humans, so we can relate to say something is good or bad, negative or positive, or that's the wrong way to go or the wrong way to go, we need to differentiate it. See, need to define it.
Okay.
See, because we live in duality, so we're giving you a definition.
So is that like to say?
So there is a path to go down that will cause a better life than a worse life. Do that make sense? There is a lower frequency and a higher frequency. So you won't just think there ain't none, and that's what get people in trouble too. Yes, there is. There's certain diets that will get you high blood pressure just like that. Absolutely. That's a lower frequency diet. It brings the frequency down. So therefore, you're going to have an experience. You're going to have a life experience, but it'll be filled with doctors, medication. You'll be limited. You'll have aches and pains. Now, if you want that experience, but that's a low frequency.
Why we choose the word frequency? This is my question. What's behind?
Oh my God! Now you're going
what
into
is
the
behind the
language.
word frequency? This is my question.
What is the word for it in Hebrew?
Frequency tether.
Okay, we'll use tether.
It's the waves, in physics. The waves.
אני
This
חושבת
is
שבאמת יש לזה.
what?
I think that it really has the frequency inside.
We are giving
You
off
check-
frequencies.
You check the energy of the thing, then you can see.
But once again, we're asking you, אוקיי? אבל תדר זה פשוט גל. יש תדר גבוה ותדר נמוך. ומשתמשים בזה פה, ומה הקשר?
I think that when
כמו
you
גלי
check,
רדיו תדר גבוה זה FM.
אני חושבת, I think the food itself, it has the energy and you can measure it with the...
It can be
with-
measured.
with
It has a
physical,
frequency. It can be
machine.
measured.
It can be measured.
Absolutely. It's not there dormant. Everything is energy. Everything vibrates. That's the truth. Everything is given off a frequency.
But FM frequency that is higher than AM frequency is not better or not better, it's just different.
נכון.
But there's a radio wave that propagates at a wavelength like this, and then there's a gamma wave that has another wavelength. Those are two different ball games. One is higher, one is lower. And just like we go, when we're talking about frequencies or vibration, let's take your health for instance. When you go to your health and you say if it came back negative, there's going to be a list of numbers on there.
No, my question was just for the definition. I understand that there is good and good. Just to understand the definition of frequency for things that we are speaking. I couldn't understand why we use that.
Why? Because you are giving off a frequency. Each of your organs could be measured. There's a number that goes to the totality of your body. And when you go under that number, that's a frequency. It's a number. Yeah.
Okay.
We're just not making it up while we're using it. We're measuring these things now just to make it plain so everybody can know this is the sciences. All right.
Can you tell, interests me, when or what happens the moment your body stop losing weight? Like when you become food free, your body lose weight at the beginning, right?
Right.
And then it stops, right?
And then it stops.
What happens there? How come it stops? How is he able to stop? What shifts? I don't know.
Because it's at where it's supposed to be at. It's normal. It got enough energy. That's your new nourishment. You traded sources of energy. It's sort of like right now, there's a power plant in this city. And it's probably running off of coal. Most cities run off of coal. But then you got what you call nuclear plants. You understand? It's the same, different power plant using a different fuel source. All you did was shift over the fuel sources. Now the last fuel source that you was on, eating physical foods, those are more denser fuel sources, sort of like coal. So that means nuclear energy is a lot cleaner fuel source. You understand? So you got to do a lot more cleaning up, detoxification over on this side compared to this side. It burns cleaner. It burns a lot longer. It's easier to maintain. You understand? So you traded fuel sources. So back when you was on that other fuel source of eating heavier foods, of course the vehicle was a lot more denser. It had a lot more weight to it. So when you traded over the fuel sources to a more cleaner fuel source, now it got to where it's supposed to be at, and it's maintaining that level.
So it comes to itself by its own, right?
Right. That's where it's supposed to be at.
Thank you.
Where it's supposed to be. Woo! This was a rough one. But all of this deals with our mental mind again. Every question was good. I know this is something. But we got to tap into this and work with it if we're going to make this thing happen, and we're going to keep getting better at it, and we're going to keep creating more pranic people in a lifestyle so it can be easier and user-friendly for everybody. So again, y'all go ahead and take a break, and we'll meet again probably within, what time is it now? Shalosh?
3:30.
Wow.
3:25.
Oh, we've been rolling. About 5 o'clock?
Yeah.
Yes.
We do the meditation, the Merkaba, or?
Yeah, we're going to work on the Merkaba since we've been talking about it.
Yeah.
To feel that spinning wheels of light. We're going to speed it up and keep going higher.
Perfect.
And then I'll show you the Merkaba, you know, the people that's now here. And then I got to go find my chalkboard. All right. So I'll talk to y'all soon.